Okay, so it's the next day. As you can see, my clothes have changed. You might hear a little whirring in the background. I just got home from work and I had to turn the fire on. It's just too cold in this cabin, so the fan is on. It just automatically comes on. But I want to show you what happened as a result from the filming we did yesterday. And that is this. Okay, this is a book that I didn't even log that I had purchased because I wasn't sure I was going to keep it. Once I got it, I was kind of like, well, I'd gotten a couple gnome books. I'm like, I've got too many gnomes and I'm not sure I like these. And then I got to flipping through it with you and it's just, there's a ton of pages I love. So I just surprised myself and sat down and did this. You'll see this in my November finished, in my December finished pages at the end of the December. But I even tried some new mediums with this. And this here is cheap Crayola crayons, like $1 a box down at the local Dollar General that I used several different colors and blended with Gamsol. So, and a little blendy smudgy, what are they called? Stump, a blendy stump with Gamsol. And I have fallen in love with crayons. These are crayons. His skin and his beard, look at how smooth this beard came out. That's crayon. All this is crayon. This, I purposely blent colors that don't blend together to make it look kind of like rougher. But here, this is the Crayola color oatmeal. I bought it though in the Crayola box called Colors of Love or Empathy or something, and it's called Need a Hug. But it's just amazing how it works. And then this gray is Crayola, and then I just outlined it with a silver metallic pen. But I couldn't believe it. The rug is Crayola. I just love it. If you want some lighter coloring, not too pigmented, because they don't have a lot of pigment in it. They're more wax than pigment. I had a good time with some cheapo supplies. All right, so let's move on to some more books. Okay, so now we're on to Melpani Chats at Gautier. And I only have these two books. She also has Circle of Life, which is a really great book. I kind of like that one better than the Nature Mandalas, but I don't have that one. I love this one. I actually like both of these, and I've colored about the same amount in each. So let's look at these and see if we can find a winter page. And Nature Mandalas, I only found two, and one is one that I did. So this one is a mandala, crazy mandala. I spent a crazy amount of time on this because it went a bazillion different directions, but it is very wintry. You got the narwhal, penguin, a walrus, and a puffin. They're all set in ice and snow. Of course, there's crystals. I blacked out some stuff, but a lot of opportunity for you to color icy, snowy stuff. And of course, in these mandalas, you can get as blitzy and blingy as you like. So that's one reason I do like this book, is I can just kind of go crazy with it. And you can black out what you don't want and color what you do want. And it turns out great because she's a fantastic artist. The other one I found was this one, which is very similar. And it's got snowflake right in the middle, and it's got some pine cones and stuff, but it's got the elk, the bear, a penguin, and some kind of winter birdie there. And so it's very wintry too. It's weird how alike these two are though. Very strange, huh? I probably would never do this one because I did this one, but I'm learning now to never say never. Okay, now let's see what's in Enchanted Earth. There's a few more in Enchanted Earth. One is this one, which is not Christmassy but wintry. This has got, as you can see, it's got the puffins and the narwhals and crystals that are meant to look like ice. There's penguins down here. There's snowflakes in the air. This would be a really fun one to do. Look at the igloos. Don't know that I've seen many folks do this page. I don't know if I've even seen it finished. I'd love to see it finished. I haven't done it because I'm just simply don't know where to start with this one. It's cool. It's cool. And if you did it, you could do it justice and make it really sparkly. Then there's this one, which I've already done. This one has all 4 seasons. So if you just want a small picture, you could just do this part, the winter one with the winter elk there. And you could just do that nest. It's 4 nests, and there's spring, summer, fall, winter. So you could just do that if you'd like to. And there is one more. Yes, this one. This one is a little bit of a stretch. But you know, it's cold animals huddled around a fire. So I definitely think you could make this wintry. I think you could, with the sky and the planets and all the constellations in the sky. So another beautiful picture by Mel Chats, and I think this one would work well for winter. All right, let's see what else we got. All right, Manic Botanic. How many of you have this book by Ziflin, by Irina Vinnick? How many of you have this book but pretend you don't, so you don't ever have to color in it? I think that's more the case. This book was all the rage a year ago, and then people got it and really looked at it and like, this is insane. I did do one coloring. I did that, the moths and the corn, and the second month I'd been adult coloring too. I've never been able to replicate that corn. It was done with alcohol markers mostly and glitter pens. But I've looked all through it. So here's the good news. There's no winter pages in this one, excuse me. So put it aside. We'll pretend it still doesn't exist. Let's talk about another book that many of us have, and that is this Wildflower folk book by Christine Karen. What a beautiful book this is. And there are a few wintry, Christmassy type pages. So if we look at this one would be nice for folks who believe in angels and want to color sort of an angel this time of year. This is Angel Eyes, and it has nothing to do with snow or wintry, so it might be a nice one for those who are in a different hemisphere. There is this one, actually entitled First Snow. Now this one is gorgeous. I really want to do this one. The indigenous Eskimo girl with the husky dog, wolf. I'm just guessing. I worked a long day today. This is called Small Wonders, and this girl, there are snowflakes and an owl and her beautiful winter coat. And her baby's all warmed up, and she's catching a snowflake with her hand, and there's snow on the trees. This would be lovely. In fact, I think I'd like to do this one better. Yeah, that's actually, I might keep a little sticky on that one. And then finally, we have the very last page, and that's this one. And it's called Woodland Healer, but she's got, it could be oak. I guess I thought that was holly, but that looks like oak leaves. But this could be something that's wintry and cool and could be colored in a way where she's more like a winter woodland healer. This could be mistletoe. You know, this is probably a stretch, but it feels very cold and wintry for me. All right, let's look at another one. So here's my portrait book, that some people call it the portrait book because it has portraits on the front, but it's actually Realm of the Gods. It's a Korean book. I know this is a rarer book and a lot of you don't have it, but some of you do have it. This is the most precious book in my collection, and it is tied with Cosmic Spirit Mythographic as being my favorite book. And if you do have this one, I just don't need any excuse to color in this book. I love this book. But there is a winter page, and these are Korean myths and folklore. And I don't have this one translated yet. I translate them as I color them. But this picture here is this. So that's a character that's in the snow. It's a woman hugging this giant mythological beast, and they're hugging, embracing. This is actually a picture I was planning on being my next one that I color. So I may just have to do that for this season since there is snow on it. Once it warms up, I'm not going to feel like doing this one. And then I'll be able to translate this myth and figure out what's going on there, because it's such a beautiful picture of her embracing this warrior, this beast warrior, who I think is on his knees. And he looks like he's wounded or injured or just tired, and she's hugging him. So, yeah, gorgeous, huh? This book is simply spectacular. If you ever get a chance to get your hands on this book, do it. You won't regret it. Okay, how about some Francois Gautier? So I was really hoping to find Christmassy pictures, wintry pictures in these, because I love him, and I know he's a love-hate. Some people hate him, but I couldn't find any, at least in these two. Now, he has dark art Gothica, and dark art Supernatural. I don't have the first dark art, but I've been working on getting it. Gothica was the second one, and although this is proof that it is colorable, because you can color it, but I would definitely recommend fine liners, gel pens. You know, I use some ink here in the background, but I wouldn't do too much. It's super smooth paper. I'm not sure pencils would even work, but this one is so detailed that I don't know if anything but fine liners really work in here. And that's what some people don't like. If this turned you off, though, this one is better. This one is more colorable. The lines aren't quite so detailed, and the pictures are more clear. It's not just lines for lines' sake. So this one is more colorable than that one. But neither one of them have winter or anything in it. This one does. And a lot of you have this one and have left it on your shelf because you don't know how to color it. But I tell you, because it's got this shading which makes it look 3D, but I tell you, color it like you would a grayscale image. Because just run, and they're single-sided, and it's fabulous paper. Francois Gautier has his stuff in fabulous paper. And just run your alcohol markers over it. I mean, it's so easy. All the shading is done for you. So just treat it like a grayscale and just run your alcohol marker over it and see. It's all alcohol marker. I don't know what you do with pencil, because I wouldn't use pencil in these. I don't think the paper would be good for it anyway. But the one I found that was, see how these look 3D, the way they're shaded? Just use your alcohol markers and they'll shade with this, and you know, this will make them darker, and the 3D effect will just pop out. So the only one that is Christmassy I happen to have done last year, and it's really cool. It's the deer coming through the wall. And like, this is all the same color. I just took the same color and went over this. I didn't shade this background at all. So if you're worried about coloring these don't. Just take your alcohol marker, or if you have a decent water-based marker, anything that will let the shading show through. It was so easy. I did absolutely no shading on this. All this shading was already in there. So this was a super easy, very fast color. Just alcohol marker over everything. And then the only thing that slowed me down was I decided to get fancy and put some black Sakura glaze in spots, put some shiny glitter pens in spots that I had just bought. So yeah, this was my Christmas deer from last year. So if you've got dimensions, this is actually a very rewarding page to color, just because the shading is already there. So as you color, it just pops out of the page at you, and it's really a lot of fun. So you could do this with cheap supplies, anything. You don't need anything fancy to do that, or any of the pictures in here. They're all just, the shading's there for you. So don't be afraid of this book. And you got a Christmas page in it. All right, let's look at a few more. Only a few more left. So shout out to Rita Berman. I only have the Asian book. I really want the Africa one too. And the autumn book. And I actually don't care for this one at all. So this one's going to get destashed. It's just too zen doodly for me. But neither one of these, I'd love to get the winter one though. And that's what I was going to say. Neither one of these have winter or Christmas pictures in them. But she does have that entire book. That's the winter one, right? She has this one. So if you have this one, you've got lots of winter pages. And I find the pages in there less doodly and like it better. I just don't see myself coloring any of these. I bought it on a whim. So that needs to go away to somebody. And so nothing in Rita Berman unless you, and I'm probably nothing in the Africa one. So unless you have her winter book, you probably don't have a Rita Berman winter page. But now let's look at the spookies. And I was just certain there'd be winter pages in here. But especially in Spooky Town, I was certain that they would go somewhere for Christmas. But turns out the only holiday this town celebrates is Halloween. Oh, I have a finished page in there. I love this character in this book. This book's a fun book, but no winter or Christmas in Spooky Town. And then we have the weird couple. And I thought, okay, they're going to do something for Christmas, you know, because they're going out on dates and stuff in this book. But no. They're going to different dates. They're going to the movies. They're going to Halloween party. They're doing all kinds of stuff, but nothing wintry or Christmas. So I'd pretty much given hope on finding anything in the spooky series, and then Spooky Girl. And guess what? She has a Christmas page. I had no idea. I'm so freaking excited. I'm putting a very special bookmark there in this one because I am definitely doing that. I do love Spooky Girl. She's one of my favorite of the 3 books, although Spooky Couple is really good. But this, look at this. Yes, this one must be colored. Yes. All right, and while we're on the spooky series, I thought I'd look at Lainey Dow's Spooky Boy, and there's no winter or Christmas pictures in this one either. However, did you guys know the story behind this one? I saw it on Lainey Dow's website, I think it was, that this boy is a boy who's on the spectrum. He's autistic. And he sees things, but his reaction to them is muted and a little different because he's on the spectrum. And his inability to communicate to others what he's seeing is due to his autism. So he just sort of goes through the world. A lot of you have commented about how he just is kind of going through his day and these things don't really bother him or he doesn't even notice it. It's because Lainey Dow made a character who's on the spectrum. So I thought that was really cool. All right, let's look at some more. Only have a few more left. So some of you have this crazy book. If you got the American version, it's Fright and Seek. If you have Exploratorium, that's the British printed. That one was printed in Britain, but they're the same book. So they're either Fright and Seek or Exploratorium. It's Les Melendres. I've had this for years. And basically, this book, in a nutshell, is your Astros, who's on an earthly mission to explore the Doodle universe. So try to find him. He's lost in one scene, so I haven't found him yet. But they do have objects to find, but they're cute little objects that fit in with everything else. And then there are misfits that you have to find in every page. But these are, whoa. So if you decide to take on one of the winter pages that are in this book, you go to the top of the class because these are nuts. So in all the years I've had it, I've got one whip. It's right, and these are all different. This is Candyland. Of course, I would do the candy one first. And I use this to test pencils. So I've tested different pencils here and find out what pencils I like. And then I realize it also depends on the paper. So on this paper, I'm really liking the Spirifarben and the Black Widows. But I'm doing my Candyland. And the little guys you have to find, like there's a little misfit. There's a little misfit. I'm doing them in bright yellow. There's a misfit. And they show you who they are over here. Diablito. So that's the only one I've done. But there are 2 winter pages. Here, Alpine Adventure. So if you are feeling adventurous, look at this. You could do this one for one of your winter pages. And I would bow down to you. I tell you, these pages are immensely fun. Like, I can't even tell you how much fun these pages are to do. They're not too intricate. There's just a lot of stuff. But, you know, it's kind of like Kirby Rosanes, his alien worlds. You know, they're aliens and misfits and whatever you want to call them. You can color them anything you want. And this is the other one, North Pole. So I think that's actually an elf there, or maybe a strange Santa. There's a lot going on here. Penguin barking orders. There's just lots going on. Les Melendres is who does this book, and it is a really fun book. And I know quite a few have gotten it recently. So if you have, there are winter pages in this, and you would be braver than I in taking this on for the winter season. All right, let's look at a few more. I don't have very many Coco Wiles, but I do have these two. They're both jar, things inside jars. Life Inside Jar, which many of you have, there is one, and it's a stretch. But, you know, I think this could be snow, and I think this is a squirrel putting their nuts away for the winter. However, the squirrel is blocked off from its nuts. What are we going to do? But he looks happy. It's like, dude, you're not going to get those unless you can somehow unscrew yourself and then unscrew this and then get in there. I don't know. Can't say I understand the picture, but I think it's cute. This whole book's pretty adorable. That's one I did as a buddy color. The paper in this one is not near as good as the paper in this one, though, which is strange because they're both Coco Wile. So Glassy World, the paper in this one feels very much like newspaper, where the paper in this one is, you know, see how much brighter it is? It's just regular old Amazon paper. I don't know why this one is so much worse. But we have Glassy World, and in Glassy World, we have one. And that's one that I did. It was my first attempt at coloring glass. I basically used the front cover as inspiration, you know, where they put all these different colors to, you know, it's not just a white line, it's various colors of lines. I tell you, it was a lot of work. But this is the only one in here that's kind of wintry, like it's an ice cream, you know, it's an ice cream here, ice cream bar, and it's a seal. So, although you do have these candied crab apples here, and sakura petals, but there's more ice cream. So I guess you could make that wintry, right? All right, that's all the Coco Wow I have. Let's look at this one. This one is in with my Coco Wows, but this is not a Coco Wow. This is Magical World. Several of you have this one too. This is Eric Barrett. Love this book. Like, no, I mean, look at that. That was just alcohol markers. Isn't that beautiful? His pages are just really, really stunning. In this book, we only have one. And it's this top down. Now, this is another thing I love about Eric Barrett is that his perspectives, he has some really interesting perspectives in some of his pictures. And this one's looking straight down at the little creature here. And there's these flying bat cat things that show up in a few of his pages. And I'm pretty sure that this is snow falling, which is cool because it's really big up here where it's close to your eyesight and gets smaller as it goes down. And birch trees. And I think you could make this snow. So this could be a snowy scene. I haven't colored this one because I'm not quite sure how to color, but I have colored a few. Colored this one. I really do like this. Those bat things that he's got, they're like these things here. He has them in many of his pictures. So yeah, this is a really fun book. I enjoy this book very much. All right, I'm only left with two different sorts of books, and one of them is all of the Kirby Rosanis that I have, and I just don't feel I need to go through those. You all know what the winter pictures are in there. If you've got those books, you've been in those books a lot, and I think I would just be showing you pictures you've already seen all over the place. So I want to first of all thank you for making it all the way to the end of part 2 and the last part of Winter Pages in Unusual Places, and I have a special gift for you. Look what I got today. Yes. The new Mythographic Fairy Wonderland. I found it at Walmart, paid way too much money for it, and now it's in my little hands. So I thought there are several winter pictures in here, and I thought we'd just together go through this. If you have this book and you don't feel like looking through it with me, that's great. I love you. Thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you in the next video. If you want to stick around for a little flip through, here's my special gift to you. We can look at Fairy Wonderland. This is the most recent Mythographic, December 2023, Fabiana Attanasio. When I first saw this book, when I first saw a flip through of this book, I was disappointed. I thought this book looked too much like all the others. And some of the pictures do. But then I got into it. And the beauty in these pages, it takes a while. It takes a while with each page to see the beauty, and that they are not all just like the others. She does a lot of play with lanterns and light, music, and beauty. This one of a pomegranate, up close and personal with the pomegranate and the fairy sitting in it. How luscious and beautiful could you make this? Stunning. The paper is incredible. It feels even thicker than the other mythographics. It's a heavy book with this thick paper. The babies. Books and birds. They just sort of go together, don't they? See how thick this paper is? It's definitely thicker than other mythographics. A badger. Or Wolverine. This jar of star fruit, or maybe just stars. Surrounded in irises. How beautiful is that? Look at that. A true seahorse coming out of the pages of a book with these delightful big bubbles and these ranuncula looking like flowers. Look at the seaweed for a mane. Wouldn't that be gorgeous? Look at this. This is like freedom breaking through, isn't it? This whale with its earthy, mossy head and its stone underside breaking through this portal of some sort. There's planets and the young person rejoicing. All the stars. Beautiful page. This one is one that I want to tackle right away. Look at that dragon. The horns. I love a horned dragon. But it's got all the lanterns around it, and it's just sort of curled up. And it looks like it's really organic. It's curled around a moon. It's curled around a crescent moon. Here's the dragon just hanging out in the moon. Is that not the coolest thing? I can't wait to do this one. Ugh. This fairy, is she not stunning? She's got the woody look unraveling from her hair. Her hair is like this swirl of wood, maybe. And these beautiful flowers encased in bubbles. She's like part of the flora and fauna, the mushrooms. Everything we love to color. This one baffled me at first, but it's a little girl who's a moth. And she's either in a chrysalis or those are her wings wrapped around her. And the other moths. I love to color moths more than I love to color butterflies. Oh, this is the other one I really want to do. Snails. I love coloring snails. Look at that snail. Oh. And the lanterns, and then the snail girl. Look at her in her little shell, and she's sitting there in her little chair, which looks like a shell. There's another snail. And another one. Another one. Isn't this a fantastic page? Those of you that are good at coloring things to look like they're wet and maybe a little slimy, that would be perfect for this one. A bird. But a very strange looking bird. Like a bird that's also hanging around with a bunch of fish. Looks like a toucan, but then there are dream weavers all over. Dream weavers. Someone give me the word. Dream guardian, dream protectors, dream. Went right out of my head. That's cool, isn't it? And this one, I thought that was a piano too, but I think it's some sort of a scepter with a castle on it, and then keys, and the keys are flying along with dragonflies. What is this? Be fun to color this with a lot of sparkle and metal looking. I've gotten to where I really like coloring metal. This one's great. I was pretty certain that swan was eating that poppy. I don't think he's supposed to be, but I think it looks like he's eating the poppy. Look at these swans. There's waves and poppies. I love Fabiana because she puts a bunch of things together that don't go together, but she mashes it all together. And there's a girl in the middle of it, and somehow it works. Here's one of her famous tigers again, and this one I thought might be in snow, but I think it's rain. Look at what's on the mushrooms. I think it's water, and I think that's rain falling on our tiger there. Not sure what's in the background, if that's trees or water, but I think this could be anything you wanted it to be, really. That's the beauty of Fabiana's artistry, is that you can make it into things that, you know, she's got a lot of swoops in nature. She has a lot of organicness in her pages, but you can kind of turn them into different things. Is this a tree? Is this a rock? I mean, you can, depending on how you color it, you can make it into whatever you want. Here's one I marked because I thought it could be wintry. Lots of crystals, something falling in the sky, lots of little sparkly stars, and these strange little fairy finnick foxes, deer foxes. I thought it could be done wintry. Here's one of these guys again. We had another book where I called him a lemur or a King Julian. I don't know what this is, but he's also been made fairified. He's fancy with his fancy fairy ears. And then again, more really cool lanterns. He's kind of hanging around like a sloth would. Oh, you know what? I think this is supposed to be a koala. I think this is a koala, a fairy koala. Don't you think so? That nose. And I love the eyes. This one, oh my gosh, just look at it. Just look at that. Look at the ladies. I've never seen her draw ladies like this. Her humans are usually secondary to everything else in the page, and they're just sort of, you know, very simply drawn. But these ladies, their facial expressions are so much more advanced than what she normally draws. And the way they're dancing and moving, this is gorgeous. They're like flower fairies dancing around this, I'm sure this is something. She has a lot of Asian themes, but she's from Italy, near Rome. And so I wonder if this is something Italian with the keyholes in it. It's got little ornate bugs on it, not real bugs, but ornate bugs. If someone knows what kind of device this is, let me know. Possums. A possum corn. And look at the door. I love coloring doors. Who knows what's happening in this? But I think the nice thing about Fabiana Attanasio is you can just, whatever story you make up to go along with this possum corn bringing their babies to this tiny door, it's all right by me. This looks like ginkgo, doesn't it? And I love her scaly trees. She makes trees a lot like this, and they're cool. And she always has opportunities for you to put sparkle. Here's a real unicorn in water. And I think this one looks almost sad. And I love this picture. I love the emotion in it. I love that it's looking down at its reflection, I think it would be looking at, whatever story you wish to make. And then here are all these like lily type plants, lotusy lily type plants, and then the jellyfish are in the sky, flying all around this magical This is definitely a fairy wonderland. Here's another winter one. Definite winter. Little winter sprite. There's snow on everything, and there's snowflakes, even though there's flowers. So here's some great opportunities. Again, here's something metal. Not sure what that is, but you've got snow, snowflakes, flowers. I love this little sprite guy. Again, different for Fabiana to draw, you know, a humanoid creature like that. She's usually into lots of animals and stuff. This is really neat. And another door, and the door is open, so you could have a really neat light source here. Love that little guy. Okay, I put a thing here. I don't know what's on this platypus nose. Duck-billed something, but I think it could be snow. Or it could be rain. Could be snow falling. I think it's snow, and there's snow on the duck-billed platypus nose. Although I'm not sure. I think this is kind of an earth spirit because it's got like this hair coming down, but I think that could be water, or it could be mossy undergrowth type stuff. Again, you know, there's branches coming out of it. Again, you could make anything you wanted. There's some sort of a spiral insignia here, and then there's sparkly stars. Gorgeous, huh? Strangely beautiful. She's always got to have a winged girl on a leaf in the water, because why not? Everybody needs one of these in their life. And more opportunities to color metal. Beautiful, huh? I saw this one, and I thought it was so cool. This flying squirrel with the girl in a thimble, the fairy in the thimble. And this also could be winter, because you could make this snow, and then the candles flying with them, they could be flying in the snow. See, this is the more simplified type of person you usually see or draw. Those other ones look very different. The dancing girls. This one, I love it with her big fro curly hair. Look at the little, I think she's in like a glass egg or something. She's in something glass looking out at the fish. But it looks like she's on the shore of a lake and the fish are in the water, and there's water flowing down. It's just beautiful. What a lot of opportunity you have in this page to put special effects in, you know, with the splashing water and the glass. Oh, those are flying fish. That's why they're flying. This one I love. This reminds me of Carolina Kubikowska because of the solemnity of the face. Like, she's not a happy gal. She's very solemn. This, I think, is rain because the drops have little highlight droplets on them. So I think that's supposedly rain, and you can see through them. But you could definitely make it snow. Easy. This one reminds me of Strength, which is the next tarot card that we're going to be looking at. I have several videos stacked on top of each other, so that's why it's taken me a bit to get these out. But every time I see sort of an interpretation of the Strength card, it's a lion. But look at this lion. This lion's got jewelry and flowers and butterflies. Freaking cool. This is another one I thought could be snow with this pan type creature and the bunnies. I think it's because the ground kind of looks like it's snowy. Looks like plants popping through snow, and it's got these snow blobs. Sometimes her round blobs are meant to be snow, and then it's got the swirly stuff, and I think this is supposed to be, I think this could be a snowy forest. It would be really cool to make it all like muted, snowy, light tans and whites and white rabbits and stuff, and then make this pan figure very woodsy, browns and greens. Or make the rabbits purple. That's what I did once. Oh. Wow. Another moth fairy girl. I love her moth fairy girls. looking down into the water and seeing what? Like a whole kingdom, like a whole structure, beautiful fairy structure with a moon and stars. And so this could be night and this could be day. And wow. I really like this one. I love pictures which are partly above water and partly below. Still haven't really worked out the kinks in making that look accurate, but I'm working on it. I love the opportunity to try. Look at this fairy boy walking through rainy mushroom houses. He's got a little fairy village that he's walking through. Looks like creatures tinier than he is. I thought this one could be wintry too. The owl and the baby owl. And then there's like a little snow princess fairy on the baby owl, and then the stars and stuff and the crystals. And I think it looks like it could be snow here on this outcropping, whatever that is. I think this really definitely could be a wintry, snowy scene. And I know I'm thinking of some of you in particular that would really make this picture a wow item. Some of you would get out there with your pencils and would spend 5 days on it, and it would be amazing. And this owl's like part wood. She does that a lot, which like, or else it's peeking up over wood, but I think it might be part of the wood. Big hairy tortoise. I love it. And I love that the tortoise has plant life on it. I'm really tired of things on the backs of turtles, but this is a different perspective. This is a head-on perspective, which is kind of interesting. And it's not clear that all this structure in the background is on him. I don't really know with this perspective what's going on in this picture, actually. But I do love coloring tortoises and alligators, things with that kind of skin. Wow, what is this? A goat? A deer with wings and antler type things that turn into a tree. Is it in the air or the water? What an interesting picture. I'd love to ask Fabiana what this is and what she was thinking when she drew this. Wow, there's a lot of pictures in this book. Oh, fairy boy sitting up there looking down at something. Mushrooms. What is this? There's a spire. Is it just some sort of a structure? Again, opportunity to make it into glass or metal. Oh, okay. I flipped through, I saw this page, and I immediately wanted to get the book just for this page. That's a frog king, a big toad. That's a toad king. And look, the flowers up there, and then he is on the, again, I think he's outside of the water, but he's got fish flying around. Those are like tadpoles, aren't they? Not fish. So tadpoles all around. He's like King Toad. There's water to draw. There's some sort of structure back here. Love this page. I love that he's like sitting in this structure. Yeah. This one, I can't wait. And I won't make him red this time like I did my other frog. I'll make this one like a normal toad color. Neat. This is water, like crashing waves all around. And then there's these bugs and a door and mushrooms. It's like a portal, a fairy door. That is a busy picture. She does really great hummingbirds. And I'm not a crazy about coloring birds, but I colored a page with a bunch of hummingbirds in it that she in Cosmic Spirit, and I loved it. They're a lot of fun. They're every color in the rainbow, so you can make them whatever, but they're kind of iridescent on the top, and you can have I did all the alcohol markers, and it turned out really nice. So the hummingbird's beak is a paintbrush, and it has paint, and it's painting the flowers. I love that. I love that. Is that a little hedgehog? But his little spikes are crystals. And then he's got little elfie boy, fairy boy, and with a big lantern and these weird, I never know what to do with these circles. Like, I don't think we need to be told that there's light there. I usually try to white them out. They are strange. I see a lot of you mostly white those out and then kind of make it all glowy, and it looks really good. I definitely wouldn't keep it black, but it's, wow, it's really dark. That's unfortunate. I'm not crazy about that circle, but I do love him so much. He's almost like a chinchilla. I definitely will color this one. I have to look through the camera. Do you guys see what this is? Are these hands holding a little cat? A kitten? Is this like one of her robots? Overgrown robots out in the forest? She does draw them sometimes. It's an interesting creature. Don't know quite what to make of that. It has kind of a mood of love, though. It kind of feels like love and empathy and kindness. I like it. A peacock. I have love-hate relationships with peacock. I don't know really. I think they are very busy to color. But this one, instead of having all those feathers, has watches. Has watches on chains, which are called watches. There's a word for them, right? Losing my words today. Thank you, COVID. This is watches on chains and branches with leaves. Okay, I would much rather, and ginkgo for the top knot. Yeah, I would much rather color this than a regular peacock. I get really tired of all those feathers, but this would be fun. You know, you'd start out like normal peacock. Oh, nope, all these shiny metal watches. Watches? Clocks. Mr. Mole. Now, he's underground. I don't get an opportunity to color many underground pages. But he's got all kinds of treasures. First off, he's wearing steampunk glasses. Cool. And keys in his little paw. There's this mole hole. But down here in his home, he's got all kinds of treasures and jars of things. Candles burning. That's fun. I like this one. Oh yeah, this is another one I saw that I immediately thought I had to do because these things are cool. They're like flower fairies, and their limbs are like leaves. They're all leaf and flower. They're very, very neat. Very, very neat. And like, those look like those little ink mushrooms. I would probably make those inky mushrooms. And look at, it's like they're flying in and out of some kind of building. This is very cool. See, this is more what I was thinking of when I think of Fairy Wonderland. I'm thinking of fairies. But there's a lot of non-fairies in here. I will color a fish any day. My favorite colorings are underwater in fish. So anytime I see fish, I get excited. This is crystals. These are those fancy goldfish. But look, he's got one of those antenna things like the deep water fish do. Forgot what those are called too. Angling fish. Sorry guys, I have long COVID and it made holes in my brain basically. But makes it hard for me to retrieve some vocabulary sometimes. This looks almost like a portal. Or bone. Gosh, so many things to color. Oh, this is like a little fawn. I thought this was a satyr before. I'm a Sagittarian, so I'm always looking for Saturn, for centaurs and satyrs. I think this is a satyr, right? Satyrs are deer, right? Part deer. I think this one's cool. I also like the swirly bit around him. But he's carrying messages or something. And then there's stone in the background. Again, these annoying light bubbles. Very cool. More moths. And butterflies this time too. The moth is, see, what is she saying here? The moth is carrying timepiece, carrying an hourglass. And this cool building looks like it's made of glass and metal. And that's it. So that's my gift to you, a nice slow little walk through the new Mythographic Fairy Wonderland. It's $16 at Walmart. I was at Walmart with my client today. I couldn't pass it up. I would normally not pay $16 for a Mythographic. I'd wait and get it on Book Outlet for $5, but or on Amazon for $12. But I really wanted this. It was something I wanted to go through, and then I thought, why not look through it with my dear friends? So thank you for being here on my journey. Thank you for sitting through all of this. And I hope that you find winter pages in your stash. Go shop your stash. It's so much fun. I've done so much coloring already, and it's only December 7th. And I've done a lot of coloring just because I've been doing this video. Because I'll find pictures in books that I hadn't looked at for months. And I get excited all over again. So let me see your pages. I can't wait. I watch all of your videos. I look at all of your Instagrams. I can't wait to see what you do. And you have a very merry season.